Are you wanting to feel more confident in difficult situations? Well, today I'm going to talk about how you can be more confident in difficult situations. So, thank you for being here today. Appreciate you, as always, for tuning in. So, I've been doing a bit of reflection, really, around when I've been in a situation, even recently, and I felt like, oh, this is really difficult. It's like I'm really being pushed. It's a little bit overwhelming, and I was like, my brain got a bit tired, and I was like, I'm not feeling on top. I'm not feeling like my confident self. So, for example, if I was to get on the podcast and talk, I feel pretty confident because I do it again and again and again. And I started to remember, what I've learned a lot of the times. And that's that when we get into a new situation that's maybe a little bit uncomfortable, a little bit different, what happens is you can get challenged. And as it's new and feels different for us, our brain can kick in and go, oh no, you shouldn't be doing this. This is unsafe. And therefore that can create a lack in confidence if you don't train your mind and you don't keep going. If you quit, it definitely results in a lack of confidence. And I'm talking about quitting if you're just fearful, not about like stopping if it's not right for you. That's different, of course. But I joined this program the other day, and it's Russell Brunson's, and it's really about showcasing what you're teaching. And you may or may not know is that I help people start podcasts. So it was about how I can really get out there and help more people with that, and he's got a program to do so. And I got in, and it was very like, whoa, there's a lot here. And he's done his best. And Russell Brunson, by the way, is one of the best marketers on the planet. So he's very good at like helping you present things. So I always like to learn from people. Success leaves clues, as Jim Rohn says. You want to learn from the best as much as possible. And I was there and I'm like, wow, this is very overwhelming. And I'm also in my mastermind, and like we got these like plans to hit certain targets all over different areas of our lives, whatever we choose. And I'm like, oh, there's so much going on right now. And then I've got like lots of clients and all sorts going on, right? And I started to feel like, oh, a bit tired, and I was like feeling on top of myself. A lot going on in life. But then I thought, like, there's always a lot going on in life. That's not an excuse. We've all got different situations. And I came back to the realization that it's a good thing because I'm growing. Okay. So what do I mean by this? Well, I want to share this with you. And this is something I learned from one of my mentors. There's like 4 levels of your development in any skill set. The first stage is unconscious incompetence. So when you start a new skill, let's use golf as an example, because that's just what comes up on my mind right now. When you go and start playing golf, you don't know what you don't know. And the same is with any skill. Like you turn up, you're like, I don't realize I'm bad at that or can't do that yet. But then we come on this, and that doesn't impact you until you start realizing you do. And that's the second stage. And that is conscious incompetence. That's when you realize, so conscious incompetence it's called, as opposed to the first one, that's unconscious incompetence. You don't know what you don't know. All right. The second stage is conscious incompetence. This is when you actually start noticing what you can't do yet, or you're not as skilled at yet. Right. And this is where a lot of people can quit, because you realize. So, for example, when I started this program, and outside of golf, sorry, I don't do golf anymore, but I was like, okay, right, awesome, I'm going to jump in. And then I started seeing all the things and processes. I'm like, right, okay, now I'm getting into conscious incompetence. That's quite a few to remember. And I'm like, okay, right, there is a lot to do here, right? I need to up level my game. I need to do this and this. And the best way to get through that for me personally is a plan, writing down step by step, what am I going to do, right? And this is where people quit, because they don't want to feel like they're not enough if they can't do something, because it brings up that biggest fear as human beings. So we like to be comfortable, but that's not where human growth is. Growth is through the discomfort. If you look at the true greats, they push themselves through the discomfort. But when we're not good at something, we can come up with things like, it's just not for me. This is really hard. I don't want to feel stupid. It's not the right time. I've got a lot going on, right? Just excuses to keep us safe. Sometimes we're like, yeah, it's too hard. I can't do it. Just dead honest. But that doesn't serve us either. But then we really build up the skill like the quickest in this pace when you keep persevering and keep persevering with some kind of excitement and celebration for any kind of action you take. And then we get onto the third stage, which is conscious confidence. You can see you're doing the right stuff now. You're building up the skills and you're aware of it. You're like, I can do this. I can hit that shot in golf. As opposed to like, I'm not hitting it straight. That's what I'm not doing all right. And then you're like, I am starting to hit it straight. Look at that swing. I hit it close to the flag or whatever. And then we get to the final one. And this is unconscious competence. This is when you can do something so naturally that you don't even have to think about it anymore and you're doing it correctly. Like driving a car. We can use golf when you're a pro, top-class golfer. Like the Tiger Woods and people out there in the world, they're not thinking about like certain things they're doing. They're just doing it right. Now, obviously, there are some things when they're really under pressure, where they're really thinking about what they're doing. But there's so much in their game, they just don't have to think about doing right anymore because they do it. I suppose someone like me who'd be either somewhere between unconscious incompetence and conscious incompetence if I was to play golf now. Right? And you can't do everything, right? So that's why I don't take up golf, because it's a very complex game. But same as with like anything I've gone through, like in football, I used to be terrible when I started, like really bad. I didn't realize, like I was like excited I'm gonna start playing football, and that was me being unconsciously incompetent. And then I started realizing actually I'm quite not very skilled here and not very skilled there. I need to build it up. And I kept going and going and going, and then I was like, actually I'm starting to pass the ball right. I'm starting to make the right moves. And then like many years later, now I do it. And it doesn't always take many years, but I can do things second nature. I control the ball. Like I'm not a professional footballer by any means, or even a semi-professional footballer, but I can control the ball without even thinking about it in certain cases. Right. Whilst at first I'd be like, oh my God, right, I'm really, really thinking about my touch. I don't have to think about that now. So what I'm getting at here is that we can lose our confidence when we don't feel like we're good in something, because the fear of not being good enough comes up when we're in that conscious incompetent stage, when you're aware you need to build the skill up. And that's what can make us run away, because as human beings, I talked about this a little bit on the last podcast, is where we can really, really run away. So I'm going to give you some tips now and how you can really work through this. So the first one is train the mind daily. Visualization is a key one. Visualize where you want to go moving forward, because the brain doesn't know the difference between fake and reality. So if you can think about where you want to go again and again and again, that's going to allow you to move forward. The second tip I want to share with you is think of times when you've overcome something. So maybe it's even driving a car. You're like, I can drive a car easy. That's a silly example. Think back when you started. Yes, some people can do it a little better than others at the beginning, like with anything. But think about when you started something that you never thought you'd overcome, or you're like, this is so difficult, and now you do it naturally. Well, if you've done it before, you can do it again. And then pat yourself on the back and celebrate when you think about that. My third point is celebrate every action. Celebrate every action you take. Not the result necessarily. If you get a result, yes, you can celebrate. But celebrate the action. Oh, yes, I turned up to the gym today. Or, yes, I turned up to my golf lesson today, if we're doing the golf example. Or, oh, yeah, I actually did show up and attended the workshop today in my new program, or I did the workbook. Even though it was difficult, I did it. Yes, well done me, pat yourself on the back. Because the more you tell your nervous system and congratulate it, the more it wants to do more of it. And then the fourth point, crucial, do not compare yourself to another person. That's like the killer of joy, the killer of confidence. Just like know other people on their journey. If someone's naturally better at something than you, that's the case, right? if someone, but often like you haven't seen all the hours they put in, all the work they've done. Yes, some people were naturally talented at things. Like I used to do sprinting and I could never run past a certain time. I could never honestly run under 12 seconds with a 100-meter sprint. I got close, but not quite. And there are people who just show up and they could run in like low 11 seconds because they're naturally fast. That's just the way it is sometimes, right? But also, it can be a real joy when you've worked hard, when you work hard for something and you move forward and you persevere. So focus on that as well. So that's what I really wanted to talk about, being confident in difficult situations. When you find it like, oh, this is really difficult, maybe I'm getting a bit more criticism in this situation, we didn't talk about that. But like if you're in a situation and maybe someone's giving you a lot of feedback and it's like, okay, improve this, improve that. Obviously it's a nasty situation, you want to remove yourself from that. But if you're getting people like saying you need to do this better, like keep pushing through that. I've been in the workplace so many times and it's like, you missed this, missed that. And I've persevered. And that's why I've done so well in my career. Because I just like, right, I know it's difficult. I'm going to keep going, learning. Okay, apply. Okay, I've learned that. And then suddenly it's like, boom, I've got it. Right. So you've got examples of like that in your life, like I said. So keep going on that as well. And also celebrate and don't forget and don't compare yourself to other people as well. So that's what I got for you today. I appreciate you for being here. And remember, lead with your heart, not with fear.